You want to see what I was going to say? I don't want to say anything though. I mean, not much.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for coming. It's really great to be here at the Matsu Borough for the signing of HB3 today, and I really appreciate the governor taking his time to come out and do that here. We have HB3 to be signed into law, and HB3 will just expanded the definition for the definition of emergency to include cyber attacks. Cyber attack is a little bit different than most of our other natural disasters that declarations of emergency can cover, but this is actually something that would be man-made and widespread, but like an attack on the power grid in the middle of winter would be a bad thing. Well, anyway, I'll let the governor cover some of the major points, but I think everyone at the Matsu Borough and everyone paid taxes in the Matsu Borough a few years ago remembers when there was a cyber attack here in the Matsu Borough building on the system here, and it was back to writing checks by hand and getting out the old receipt book and all of those things. So it was a big deal. I mean, it shows how much could be shut down. So someone from the borough came to me and actually asked me if I would be interested in, someone that had been a consultant that had worked with the borough, asked me to, if I'd be interested in doing a bill that would somehow address the cyber attacks and make it a little bit better for the state of Alaska. And that's why I introduced HB3. HB3, we know that cyber attacks are an ever-growing threat. I only have 6 or 7 pages. It's really not a matter of when or if, but when. But hopefully now that the Matsu Borough has been through it, I mean, hopefully they probably have one of the most secure systems that we have in the state. But so I do want to say make sure that I point out and share my appreciation with Peter House, who was the person that came and talked to me a few years ago about cybersecurity, and wanted to thank him for all the work that he put into the process. I also wanted to thank Mark Bruning, the cybersecurity advisor for the state of Alaska. And the state of Alaska at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. So his expert testimony and his experience was just invaluable. I also appreciate the Matsu Borough IT that called in to testify and let people know what it really felt like to be hit hard and directly. And then lastly, and certainly not least, I want to mention Shelley Hughes, who is my senator, but also carried this bill on the Senate side and made sure that I had someone that was really familiar with cyber security to be able to speak to that on the Senate floor. So thank you so much, Senator Hughes. And with that, and I also want to say thank you to Mayor DeVries for having us. And we also have Senator Wilson here, he's the chair of the Health and Social Services Committee for the Senate, so we know that they have also been hit. We have Nancy Mead, the general counsel for the court system, and we know the court system has been hit. No one is immune to cyber attacks, and cyber security is of utmost importance. So with that, I would introduce Governor Dunleavy. Thank you for coming. I miss George Rauscher, my state house representative, and I would never want to miss George. Thank you for coming, George. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Senator, Representative, for working on this bill, as well as the senators that have also worked on this bill. You know, we're in a different world now, the disasters that we've had to deal with traditionally have been floods, earthquakes, volcanoes. The list goes on and on because we are in Alaska. But cybersecurity is probably the big new threat across this country, across this world. And we've got some nefarious actors that aren't necessarily friends of ours, and they're going to continually test and probe to see how they can. See, it was just hacked. I was just hacked in here. Somebody just hacked me over here. Um, and so they're going to constantly test us nonstop. And this is going to be the new frontier for protections. And this is why I think this bill is timely. It's just one tool. We'll probably have discussions constantly on how to keep ahead of these people because this is where this warfare starts. And we do have a lot of integrated systems. We do have a lot of systems that are reliant on being part of the World Wide Web. And as a result, there's entry points. And the chances of us having a cyber attack, I can tell you, is actually really good because we've had them already. I do want to mention something about the tax issue. When I heard about that cyber attack, I came in to pay my taxes, and they told me it was like $6,000. I said, "No, you got it wrong. That's cyber attack made my taxes go up." And they said, "Nice try, Dunleavy. It's not $3,000. It's $6,000." Anyway, I didn't get away with that. So whether there's a cyber attack or not, your tax people are all over it, Mayor. Anyway, I could tell. I could see. Actually, I think they said we're going to double it because you are Dunleavy. Yeah, the Matsu was hit. We have departments that are hit. You can't go through a day without seeing where other outfits are being hit as well. And so this is, like we said, this is one tool. Where are the there's a representative. There's one tool that is in the toolbox now, and it gives us the ability to respond quickly and decisively to protect our critical systems and our infrastructure and Alaska's private information. You're going to see more and more of that. And, as we look at elections, the discussion about election integrity has come up. We've run 21 bills to try and protect our elections. We hopefully will get a couple of those passed next year to make sure that we are as Loctite as possible on elections. But this legislation updates the Alaska Disaster Act to include cyber attacks. It allows the governor to declare a disaster emergency, not frivolously. And I was talking with some folks that have been working on this bill for a couple of years. There are legitimate concerns, and I get that, not to give a certain branch of government too much power, and that's very important. But I think this bill was vetted. I think those concerns were addressed, and it's not something that could be done willy-nilly. But I think if there ever is a disaster declaration declared because of cyber attacks, everyone's going to understand why, and it'll help give us the tools to deal with it. So it'll help facilitate aid, including from other states. There'll be some potential reimbursement from the Disaster Relief Fund under this bill. And if severe and widespread, the governor can request federal assistance as well. So it is an important response. It's one tool, but I do want to thank all the representatives that were part of this, the senators that were part of this that carried the bill, Senator Hughes, Representative Johnson, and I do see George Rauscher here in the audience, and he's a part of supporting this. And I want to thank all the staff and all the officials that are part of our emergency response system. So with that, I think what we'll do is we'll sign the bill, get it into law, and hopefully, it's going to wait till the ink dries before there's another attempted attack on Alaska systems. You're also going to see money, for example, in the University of Alaska's budget to update their entire system to make that a little more resilient to attacks. But you'll probably be hearing, over the next couple of years, I'm sure, constant discussions about attacks, how we can prevent them, and staying ahead of them. So this bill is going to help, I believe. So with that. want me. First in Eric. Come on, George.